Welcome back to the Citizen channel and that match report as we look back at Manchester City 5, Watford 1. Yeah, not bad. A 5-1. Almost as good as a 6-1, a 5-1, isn't it? But yeah, that'll do, won't it? 23rd of April 2022 at the Etihad, 3 p.m. kickoff. So we'll have a look back at that, look at the player ratings, see what Mr. Brennan has given. Yeah, I'm gonna have a nice day today. I'm gonna give at least a 7 to everyone, even though a couple might have been a little bit below perhaps the standard we were hoping for. I think when you have a team performance like that and a good win like that, I think it's churlish not to at least give everyone a good steady score at least to start with. Right, so we're going to have a look back at that later on. But first of all, let's have a quick look at the match, what happened in it. Yeah, my team and Pep's team slightly different. I got 8 right, so I'll go with that. An interesting one was Ferner. I called it obviously a DM double pivot, wasn't it? With Ferner and Rodri. I expected it perhaps didn't work out like that. Obviously, Ferner played a bit more forward, but interesting that Pep always likes to throw in these, doesn't he? And I think he wanted to give Foden and Bernardo a rest, didn't he? So he was lacking on options with the young, of course, anyone like Cole Palmer perhaps could have come into it, but he played last night, didn't he? So that's sort of not that idea on the head. So we got 8 right anyway. So that was the main change. Obviously, the team itself was Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, Zinchenko, Rodri, Ferner, KDB, Jesus, Grealish and Sterling. Yes, I think I had Foden in there as well. He didn't play, so and Bernardo, so he didn't play. I was hoping he might go his best team and bring players off, but as it turned out, he knows better than us, doesn't he? He certainly knows better than me anyway, that's for sure. Subs bench, yeah, Ake, Gundogan, Stefan, Bernardo, Mahrez, Foden, Egan Riley, and Betty and Palmer on the subs bench. And Mr. Kevin Friend was in charge of this. Yeah, he was okay. I don't think there was anything untoward. VAR was Mr. Lee Mason. I think he was a bit puzzled as to what took so long about the penalty. It looked pretty clear to me. I mean, obviously, once the ref would give it, surely VAR saw enough not to question it. But as I say, I was there at the game, so perhaps there was another reason why there was a delay for that penalty. So I have to assume Lee Mason was doing an okay job. On to the match report itself. Yeah, mainly the goals, I think, we'll talk about today. 4 minutes, 1-0. Jesus opens his account, of course he does, and he fired in, wasn't it? I think cross came over, missed everyone, and it ended up with Zinchenko, and rather than just delicately put it back, he sort of blasted it back across the area. It went fantastic, and obviously Jesus was unchallenged to slot home 1-0 after 4 minutes. We'll take that, ease the nerves just a little bit. 23 minutes, 2-0, beautifully whooped in by KDB, swooped in, whatever you want to call it, brilliant. And of course, it missed out a couple of players at the front, but Jesus had to sort of stoop slightly to head home. Again, unmarked. He was either finding space or Watford weren't very good marking people at the back, so probably a bit of the latter in all fairness. So that was 2-0. I thought, yeah, comfortable, but no, they had a bit of a sting, didn't they, the old Hornets? Yeah, 2-1 after 28 minutes. They got in behind us. Perhaps Diaz might have thought he was at fault. Not many people blaming Ederson, but I thought perhaps he could have done better. Went straight. He did hit it well. The guy, Kamara, drilled it across him. He did manage to get a touch in it, but he couldn't stop it going into the corner. So that was 2-1. So a bit disappointing after being 2-0 up, but it wasn't too long, was it? I've had to dig out the old graphic again, haven't I? On 34 minutes. Rodri, well, we stopped doing Rodri's rocket watch because he was failing miserably. But there it is. There's the old graphic. Yeah, a Rodri's rocket, of course, on 34 minutes. I must admit, I didn't particularly celebrate because Mr. De Bruyne was down at the same time, so I was sort of waiting for him to get up before I really celebrated because I was just hoping, oh God, no. And obviously he was down while Rodri just smacked it in. And I think he sort of, perhaps he put all the other players at Watford off the fact KDB had gone down. I'm not too sure, but I think it was Jesus who played it back across for Rodri. And he didn't mess about, just smacked it in. A Rodri's rocket, if there ever was a Rodri's rocket. That's 3-1. 36 minutes, yeah, I mean, should have been 4-1. Jesus becomes supplier, but Sterling really, when he should have at least hit the target, blasted over. He should have really done better with that one on 36 minutes. So that was 3-1 at half-time. Happy with that. We didn't have to wait long in the second half, did we? It was 4-1 after a penalty, yes, with no Gundogan on the pitch, so I was all panicking, and I thought, oh no, Jesus is on an hat-trick. He's going to want to take it. If my memory serves me correctly, he's not done very well the last couple. Yeah, I mean, he was brought down. As I said before, I don't think there's any doubt about the penalty. I'm not too sure why it took so long. Well, I think Foster committed himself. I think Foster went very early to his left. I'm sure Jesus had already made his mind up to go the other side, but very, very odd by Foster. He just, perhaps he's getting past it. I mean, he was past it a couple of years back. Perhaps he's just getting a bit too old now, but that was his hat-trick, thoroughly deserved by Jesus. It just shows, doesn't it, all these rumours, and all of a sudden he turns into prime Sergio. 53 minutes. KDB again was supply, cutting back for Jesus. It's a bit of a 1-2, wasn't it? I think Grealish passed it to Jesus. So just simple pass to KDB and a simple pass again. I say Watford defence was nowhere. Very poor today. And Jesus, of course, slotted on from about 8 yards out to make it 5-1. And hopefully, fingers crossed, let's get this goal difference up. We were -6, weren't we, to Liverpool? So there you are. We picked up 4 as at the 53rd minute. We've still got 37 minutes plus to have a go at this, haven't we? Gundo came on for KDB on 57 minutes. That was great to see. Give KDB a rest. Nothing wrong with that one. And a chance to increase our goal difference went begging, unfortunately. We had 2 or 3 sort of chances. Rodri went close. Grealish had a chance as well, but we just couldn't add to that 5, which in itself, it's not overly important. I just hope it doesn't come back and cause us problems at the end of the season. A couple more substitutions. 63 minutes, Aki for Laporte. 71 minutes, Mahrez for Rodri. And Watford had a couple of half chances as well. They had a very good header late on from a free kick that Pedro somehow, with the net gaping, just steadied just wide of the post in front of us in the south stand. So I have no idea what he was doing, but that would have been 5-2. Perhaps we would have gone up the other end and scored another one. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we got away with that a little bit. So 5-1, we'll take that. But as I said, it's a shame we couldn't have sort of added another 2 or 3 to that. We could easily have done if we'd. As I say, I think getting players off, getting them rested like KDB was part of the game, really. But we'll have a little chat about us going forward and after the player ratings. Key stats, 21 shots by City, 8 on target, 5 by Watford, just 2 on target. Possession, 75% for City, Pass completion, 88% for City. So okay, not the highest, but not bad. 72% for Watford. Right, the player ratings, I'll give you Stuart Brennan's comments and his rating, and I'll add anything that needs adding. As I said, my starting score is 7, and even though with perhaps 2 or 3 players, which I probably will mention as we're going through, perhaps weren't quite up to that. I think it'd be cruel not to give at least every player 7 for overall a very, very good team performance. So my starting point is 7. If they did better than 7, they'll get more than 7. If they did okay, they'll just get a 7. If they did less than okay, they'll get a 7 as well today, because I'm feeling kind. I'm usually mean, aren't I? But let's see anyway. Right, on to the players. Edison, Stuart said, had little chance with Kamara's goal and was a spectator for the rest of the game. He's given him a 6. Yeah, so I've given him a 7, so there's no doubt about that. But I think he could have done better with the goal. What do you think, guys? Let me know what you think. But I'm obviously well taken goal, but I thought it wasn't one of his better days today, as in involvement as well. He didn't have a lot of chance even to do his distribution. It was very, very quiet, obviously. But I thought he might have done better, but it was a good goal. Cancelo's a couple of sloppy defensive moments, says Stuart, in the first half, but he settled into his effective rhythm after that. Yeah, again, he was there. I didn't see anything spectacular. Stuart's given him a 7. I'll have to just give him a 7. I'm not going to do a downer on him. He was okay. He was there. That's all I can say. Ruben Diaz, Stuart said, might not be happy with Kamara's goal coming down his channel, but otherwise had a comfortable return to the starting lineup. He did, but as he did the second half the other night. Stuart's given him a 6. I've got to give him a 7. No stress, I say, apart from the goal, which I'm not going to blame him particularly for. Laporte in commanding form at the back, says Stuart, and launching plenty of attacks. Yeah, I thought he was excellent, Laporte. Eric. Stuart's given him a 7. I've given him a 7.5. I thought he was worth a 7.5. Zinchenko, Stuart says, good assist, brilliant goal-saving tackle, and a reminder that he's not a poor option for Real Madrid on Tuesday. And he's given him an 8. Yeah, I've given him an 8 as well. I thought it was excellent from Zinchenko. Didn't let us down, as he very rarely does. And certainly we're going to need players like Zinchenko who pick up little niggly injuries, or niggles, if you like. So I was happy. I thought it was excellent. So I give him an 8, and Stuart give him an 8. Rodri, Stuart said, a thunderous volley capped a fine control display at the base of City's midfield. Stuart's given him a 7. I've given him an 8. A Rodri's rocket. What more can we ask? And I think the fact that Ferner was there in front of him as well, I think it helps his play today. We can't do that every game, I don't think. Use that as a double pivot DM, but yeah, it certainly worked okay today within reason of what we did. Fernandinho, Stuart said, played in a more advanced role and his stiff challenges and expansive passing were a big feature for the Blues. Yeah, safe, but he enjoyed it. I think he enjoyed himself. I like to see Fernand enjoying himself. He's not got long left, has he? Stuart's given him an 8. I've just an interesting role for me. It was efficient. I'm not going to say it was spectacular, but it was efficient. So I give him a 7.5. Kevin De Bruyne and Stuart said 2 more assists only tell half the story. Another massively influential display. So Stuart's given him an 8. I've given him an 8.5. I thought it was almost. I mean, he had it robbed from him. Almost another man of the match performance from KDB. But again, on fire today. I'm so glad he got up when he was down on his knees. I was hoping it was just temporary, but he did get up eventually, thankfully. I think he's fine. Gabby Jesus, 3 true goal scorers goals, says Stuart, and a perfect penalty. Right, as Foster helped. Gave a reminder of his quality, says Stuart. So let's give him a 9. Am I going to argue with that? Nope, I give him a 9 as well. I thought that was brilliant. I mean, what a time to start scoring goals when it's just announced basically how much truth in it. I don't know that he's surplus to Pep's requirements, but we don't know what's if he does this all the time from now till transferring out, or he does this all the time and carries on doing it. All great, but we know Jesus is capable of this on his day. He can do this sort of thing. Absolutely brilliant. So I give him a 9. And Stuart gave him a 9. I don't think much else we could do. Jack Grealish, asked to play the sacrificial false 9 role, says Stuart, which meant he was quiet while doing the job he was asked to do. Yeah, again, Stuart's given him a 6. I have given him a 7. I probably would have marked him less if I was sort of doing that, but I'm not. He never really got into it, but he was always around and about, always available. Say, I had a couple of, certainly had 1 pre-assist. He might have had a couple. So, yeah, it was just an okay game. Jack Grealish, as I say, probably played a role he's still trying to get used to, and I think Pep wants to play him there eventually, but it's certainly not something he's become attuned to at the moment. So Raheem Sterling, Stuart said a couple of misses, but his directness and work rate brought Jesus his 4th. Yeah, well, okay. Stuart's given him a 6. I give him a 7. I said he would have probably scored a little bit less if I wasn't giving everybody a 7. That poor miss. But he was a diversion. He does cause trouble. He does take opponents' players' minds off the game. So for that reason only, yeah, I mean, I'll say I have given him a 7 because I give everyone at least a 7. But again, not great. But I say he did contribute in a nuisance value, that's for sure. And the subs, yeah, I've not marked the subs. Stuart's gave Ilkay Gundogan 57 minutes for De Bruyne. He's slotted in smoothly, says Stuart. He gave him a 7. Okay, fair enough. I didn't really notice too much. Nathan Aki for Laporte on 63. No alarms. Stuart gave him a 6. Yeah, don't disagree with that. And Riyad Mahrez for Rodri on 71. And Stuart said no time to mark. So he was on for 20 with injury time, about 22 minutes. So no time to mark. But did he? Yeah, I think he did. I was just going to say, did he touch it? I remember him doing a couple of okay things, actually. So I'm being a bit cruel. Man of the match, I don't think we have to really argue over this now, do we? I think, as I said, KDB was quality yet again for me. But Jesus, obviously, how can you not give Jesus man of the match? I mean, you'd be pretty mean not to. Our overall record at home now against Watford in the league, just the league, played 12, won 9, drawn 1, lost 2, scored 31 and let in 7. And Watford going forward, well, yeah, not many games left now. I think 5 games left, 7 points from safety. And if you take into account the poor goal difference as well, it's probably 8 because it's 7 will do them no good if they draw level with the team on 7 because they'll have a much worse goal difference as well. So that's no use to them. So they're really 8 points. Out of 5 games? They've got 3 home games out of the next 4, which they have to make count even to have a chance. They've got Burnley, Everton and Leicester at home. Obviously, they beat Burnley and Everton. That will certainly help the cause because obviously they're in and amongst them, but on the verge of hopefully getting out of it, so they can drag them back in it. Of course, Leicester won't be easy, and they've got a trip to Selhurst Park as well. So more or less a derby, isn't it? All these Cockney teams. Yes, we can. They all speak the same, don't they, guys? In Watford to London, it's the same sort of difference. So a trip to Selhurst Park as well. So it doesn't look good, does it? Win the 3 home games, and they might be in with a chance, but even then, it's probably still game over if it's not game over already, in fairness. As for us, well, yeah, I would say it's typical City, isn't it? I would say a man who's been rumoured to be on his way turns into prime Sergio or prime Uwe Rosler or prime Sean Goldson, doesn't he, for popping them goals in. Nothing brilliant, just the right place at the right time against, let's be honest, a pretty inept Watford defence from the keeper upwards. Too many spaces in that box for City players to sort of just wander into. In fact, obviously we had to get through. We had to play some good balls, but yeah, I just thought Watford's defence. They're not 19th in the table because they're any good, so they don't suddenly become good overnight just because they need the points. Very, very poor from Watford. And Hodgson, obviously, he got a bit of a job to nothing, didn't he? He got a bit of a not an easy task, was it? For he should be resting somewhere, shouldn't he? I always think that, but that he lives to play football, of course. So there you go. But I think, it'll be interesting. But I can't see anything. I can't see anything really for them. But yeah, so our new Sergio, does that put him in the European reckoning for the game against Real Madrid? I don't know. We got a rest today for Bernardo, of course, and Foden. So they perhaps of our team looked the most leggy, if you like, over the last couple of weeks when we've been playing. So that was good for them. Of course, KDB was brought off about half an hour, just over half an hour early, so that was good as well. So it couldn't have gone much better today, really, from a point of view of the game and the pressure, and it wasn't a dirty game and stuff like that. So I think we couldn't, we've had a couple of misfortunes, haven't we, with things with Atletico Madrid, followed by the Liverpool, and taking its toll, etc. But at least this wasn't. This was fine. At least we got out of this okay by the looks of it. Don't think we've got any more injuries. Hopefully the rest will mean, perhaps Walker can come back in as well for the big game we've got coming, of course, next Tuesday, and Stones as well, hopefully, because we certainly won't have Cancelo, will we? So you'll probably have a problem with Walker. We will need Stones at some extent. So yeah, I can see Stones obviously reverting to a sort of right back role, stuff like that, without Cancelo there, and obviously Pep swapping it about. But anyway, fingers crossed. I doubt Walker will play next week, but we'll talk about that next week. But as I said, I don't think it could have gone much better. I don't think it could have gone much better. City, we could have perhaps added another goal or two, which would have been nice. But with the big game around the corner, I think that was fair enough today, guys. Let me know what you think anyway, and your player ratings and what you thought of the team. And please join me as we do look forward to the Real Madrid game, which will be out on the Sunday before the game. There'll be a special preview of the Real Madrid game. And of course, on the Monday, there will be the odd show. Yes, and we're back on track. Two wins. Yeah, 2 bets, 2 wins. Over 10.5 corners. I think we had 14 or something like that. And of course, over 3.5 goals. So hey, yes, get in. We're back making money for the Christie. So that's all we can ask, isn't it? So please tune in for my odd show. We'll have a bit of fun on that as well. Let's have a look at the value. Should be some interesting value on this Real Madrid game, that's for sure. It being such a big game. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, please. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.